SBF's parents complicit in the scheme? Question everything, trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boy CryptoKeeper here on a Tuesday. I'm back. Yes, I am back. I have been in Vegas for about a week. You guys have been hanging out with Crusader. Smash that like if you are just coming in. If you haven't already, it takes 2 seconds. I appreciate you. Let's kick it off. Let's get some more people in here. I'm going to give them just a second to tell you guys a little fun story for you. So first of all, the house doesn't always win. Your boy Keeper here actually did pretty well playing craps while he was out in Vegas. I am not the gambler. So, when I sit at a table, all right, like I said, I like to play craps. When I sit at a table, I swear every time I cash in for chips or whatever, or color up or anything that I do, I'm doing like this conversion to ETH in my head or conversion to Bitcoin in my head. So I can't help it. I'm always thinking about investments, which is why we have the channel here, right? And so I did really well on a couple days in craps, made $4,000 or $5,000 on $300. So it was freaking fantastic, right? Did really well. And the last day they might have taken maybe a little something back from me, but I did go heavily in the green, or I left heavily in the green. But let me tell you just a quick story here, and then we'll get started. I think that the casino, and I didn't catch it at the time, but I think that the casino hires some of these girls when they're not working to actually like pick marks in the casino to spend more money. Let me tell you what happened. I walk up to the bar. I'm waiting for the bartender to grab me a drink. And this very attractive girl sits down next to me, right next to me. The whole bar is empty, right? She sits down next to me. She puts 100 into the little machine. They have the little table slot machines. Effectively, you can see it. It's like sitting into the bar. It's a touchscreen. And immediately she hits for like $800. Now, looking back on it, the casino probably gave her the $100 to put in. But I look over and I see she wins pretty big, pretty quick. And I'm like, oh, somebody's got the hot hand tonight. To which she replies, oh, yeah, the roulette table's been hot tonight right over there. And looking back on it, like I said, I probably should have recognized it at first. But I was like, all right, cool. She's like, let's go play some roulette. So I go over there. I sit down. I never play roulette. So I had to figure out the whole betting structure. To make a long story short, I hit on the green double green. I had a little bonus button that I had money on. So then they spin the wheel again and it has to pick a number. Well, it picked my seat number. So I get to spin a third time. That wheel spins. It stops. Well, almost stops at $144,000, which was the largest you could win. I scoot my chair back. I make eye contact with the dealer. The dealer makes eye contact with me because he thinks I hit it too. And wouldn't you know, speaking of the house always winning, click, $175. So thought I had 144K, made $175. I guess it's still a winner. But yeah, looking back on it, I think that they probably figure out people that have won on other tables. They have these girls pay attention to it. And then they say, listen, if they go grab a drink or they go somewhere, get them to come back, sit back down and spend some money. So that is free. Some free alpha for you on the casinos in Vegas. They've got a good little game going there, but they did not get me because I won a little bit of money on roulette as well. All right, cool. That's the fun for the day. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Let me jump into the chat, say hello. Who was first today? Oh, Green Day Profits. This man is first in the chat a lot. So Green Day Profits, shout out to you. Always here. A1 second in the chat. Who else we got? Kenton in the house. Good to see you, Kenton. And then OFNI. I'm going to figure this one out. OFNIR Crypto. Still haven't figured it out yet, but yo, what's good? Glad to see that you're here. Green Day Profit says, I've got one like that too. It was for $1 million win. What? That didn't pay out. I'd like to hear that story sometime. We'll have to get together and chat about that one. So yeah, be careful with those casinos, folks. They will definitely get you. Let's take a look at the markets. Let's start there, and we'll press it on forward. Today's crypto market cap is at 1.08. We've been at 1.04. 1.08 trillion with the T dollars. That's up 1.08%. Bitcoin, 27,143, up 1.53%. We have got ETH at 1644, up about 0.36%. Tether holding strong at $1. Let's go, baby. BNB at 216, XRP 51 cents, up a couple percent, 2.5%. Cardano at a quarter. Dogecoin sticking around 6 cents. Toncoin, hold on a second. Toncoin at number 9. Okay, cool. That one is up almost 5.5%, almost up 42%. Somebody is going to have to tell me what's going on with that one in the chat. Let me know if you know what's up there, because 41.91%. That is a massive move. That means their market caps went up like $4 billion. Something happened there. And then Solana just under $20 at $19.90. All right, so I mentioned at the start of the show SBF's family being complicit in the scheme. A lot of us had talked about that in the past. I believe his dad is a tax professional. Not sure. I think his mom does something heavy in the investment space. So it would make sense that maybe they were, helping this scheme along, and the courts agree with that as well. So stick around. We will definitely talk about that. But let's not start there. Let's start off with just some safety for you, the investor, and something you need to be prepared to pay attention to, or really should be paying attention to. Let me click on this. So crypto wallet provider issues alert to ETH and Polygon holders. Ledger, a crypto wallet provider, has issued an important alert to ETH, Polygon, and Binance account holders. Ledger warns this group of users to be on the lookout for a scam voucher, their NFTs that are sent to their accounts. According to the wallet provider, these contain malicious links designed to deceive users into disclosing their 24-word recovery phrase. Here's the alert. Watch out for scam voucher NFTs sent to your ETH, Polygon, and BSC accounts. They carry malicious links. They're trying to trick you into giving your 24-word recovery phrase. Never share your phrase with anyone. All right, it does go into a little bit farther how basically they're unsolicited NFT airdrops. Some of you have probably seen these before. I know that I've seen them. You'll see them in OpenSea as well. Maybe you haven't been on OpenSea as much. The NFT space has been definitely kind of wah as of late. But you'll see just these random NFTs. Sometimes so don't click on them, don't open them, leave them alone, okay? But sometimes if you check out the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically the project, if you will, they will actually do some wash trading on there to show as if they're worth money. Do not fall for this. This is them buying and selling to themselves to create fictitious value so that you think you have a valuable NFT. When you click on that NFT, it is not an NFT. Well, it is of sorts, but it is ultimately giving them access to something on your computer. Some of them I have heard are advanced enough that when you just clicking on them alone gives them the ability to access some things on your computer. At any event, if you didn't ask for it, if you didn't buy it, let me just tell you, nobody is just giving stuff away and not letting you know about it. That's just a fact. There were some projects that were kind of doing airdrops and whatnot, but they would let the people know, hey, you're going to see this. It could show up in your wallet. Maybe if you were a holder of a project before. I'm trying to think. There's a project, Mermaids, something or other, that I held. And kind of, I think every couple months, something like that, there would be a new updated one that would be put in your wallet. But I knew those were coming. So if you do not see or do not have any reason to believe that that is there for you, don't click on it. I mean, I know that seems like common sense, but we have seen some people that have been around the crypto space for a long time make some really interesting decisions. The second part on that, right? The not just the NFT side of things, but ultimately just the common sense side of things. None of these companies are ever going to ask for your recovery phrase. The only time your recovery phrase is necessary is to, yeah, you guessed it, recover your wallet. And you would obviously know, hey, I screwed up. I need to recover my wallet. I need my seed phrase to do so. Boom. Then you would use it. Excuse me. Kenton says, I got one of those free NFTs on my ledger. Let's see here. Mr. OFNIR Crypto said, I got like 35 of them. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Patriot Caveman, what's going on? Hey, Patriot Caveman, I will check with Crusader. I think he was supposed to handle your t-shirt stuff while I was gone. If he didn't, let's get that figured out this week. I want to make sure that is correct. Let me see. Somebody's correcting me on the title here. No, the title is not incorrect, Danny. It's just I use the title in a way that YouTube likes it with the SEO optimization. As the scam occurred due to the relationship between SBF and the head of the department at MIT, where SBF went to college. Also, Gary Gensler was doing research there at the time. There's actually a lot more to it. We're going to get into that article here in just a couple minutes. So, pronounced Ofnir. Okay. Ofnir Crypto. Finally, bro, I will remember. I promise. I'll remember. Ofnir Crypto. That's what I was waiting for. Appreciate you, bro. All right. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. What's first up? Or I guess I should say second up. Let's keep it rocking. We've got India. India. Why? Let me ask you this before I pull this up. Why in the world is the United States heavily first in crypto volume, but yet we have no sort of regulation, and we're trying to push back and not give any sort of regulatory framework for the crypto space? Why do we think that is? Well, I think hopefully a lot of you know why that is, because this is the game plan to begin with. It's to keep you in the dark. It's to keep you guessing. It's to keep you wondering whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're not. Maybe I shouldn't spend as much money over here. Maybe I should just keep it with my traditional bank. This is all part of a greater game plan. Just want to be clear on that. But India ranks as the second in global cryptocurrency transaction volume, says Chainalysis. They rank second in the world for raw estimated crypto transaction volume. More broadly, Central and Southern Asia and Oceania account for about 20% of the world's crypto market. So it says India has become the second largest crypto market in the world in terms of transaction volume, beating out the UK, Turkey, and Russia. And that's despite difficulties around tax laws, according to a new report from Chainalysis. It says India leads the world in grassroots adoption, as measured by our Global Crypto Adoption Index, saying volumes totaled nearly $269 billion from July 2022 to June 2023. Perhaps the most impressive of all is that India's emergence as a top crypto market comes in spite of a regulatory and tax environment that can be challenging for the industry to navigate. Chainalysis noted that India currently taxes crypto at higher rates than most countries, with 30% cut taken on gains and 1% tax on all transactions. It said that uneven application of the transaction tax may be making it harder for homegrown exchanges to compete. This 1% tax on all transactions would really start to suck. I wonder if that means any transaction. I wonder if that means if I spend, if I send Crusader $10,000 of an asset, right? Let's say I send him 6 ETH right now, something like that. Are they taking 1% of that? Are they taking $100? Like, that would be absolutely difficult to deal with for sure. Here's the chart though. Check this out. The United States over here, 1,000 billion is obviously a trillion there, ladies and gentlemen. So over $1 trillion. And then all the way down here at 266 billion or whatever it was India, and then the UK, and then Turkey, and it moves down Canada, Vietnam, Thailand, and Germany. It says, while those issues are important, they don't appear to have dampened India's enormous demand for crypto. As long as the demand is there, crypto will always have a place in the world's second largest country. The US is the world's largest crypto market by far, according to the report. All right, so as I was saying before, it's good to see the global adoption happening. I think these numbers will absolutely just immeasurably change as we continue to get farther and farther into a regulatory compliance mode. Once the spot ETFs come out, once we start to see crypto as truly, truly mainstream, I think these numbers are going to surpass 5 trillion, 10 trillion. I mean, it is going to get exponentially large because blockchain is the direction that all of this is headed. Now, if you look at a place like India, who's doing 30% on gains, who's doing 1% on any transaction at all, at least the way that it is, the way that it's shown in this article, and they can still have large volume. What does that tell you? It tells me that ultimately there's other people out there, there's other countries out there, there's other places out there that believe in crypto so much that they're willing to use it despite some heavy taxes on said crypto. I believe that they're trying to outpace their probably populace's inflation. I believe that they realize that the gains that they're able to make are going to well surpass gains that they can make in any other markets. They're probably getting tired of their silent tax. Like I said, with inflation, they're probably tired of making 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%. And they're saying, you know what? It's worth it for me to be able to make 100% and give back 30, which gives me basically a 70% net versus making 7% month over month, whatever the case may be. And so I believe that we'll be able to continue to see that grow as we just get more clarification. That's really what it comes down to. The United States keeps pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. We've got to get some clarification. The moment that we do, the moment that, it's, hey, all hands on deck, let's get it going, let's press forward. I think that's going to change significantly. And I think we're going to see the numbers follow that as well. If you haven't smashed the like already, I know it's kind of slow today. Not sure what's going on. It's Tuesday. We're usually not this slow, but I still love you guys. I appreciate you for being here. Crusader had a little something going on with the fam. So you're stuck with me today. Patriot Caveman says, we don't trust our government. Yeah, and our government wants to make it as difficult as humanly possible for us to be able to trust them also. They might want to work on that. If they continue to press us, there's going to be a point at which we're going to say enough's enough. And we're not going to comply. I've talked about this before. If small business owners and I had a discussion about this with a group of hedge fund owners out in Vegas. I met some really, really good contacts out there, some people that we're going to be doing business with. Shout out to some of them. You know who you are. If they continue to push us, at some point, small business owners could say, listen, we're just not going to use the US dollar. We're going to use Bitcoin. I believe in what Bitcoin is. I believe in the ethos. I believe that it has the value that I believe it has. And if enough small business owners said transact in Bitcoin and not in the US dollar, combined with the problems that we're already having overseas, where they are basically putting us at financial war as it relates to, buying and selling crude oil with or without the US dollar, at the issues with dumping stocks, bonds, treasuries, all of that. They have basically put us in a position, and we would be able to push that position even further here in the United States, as much as I love my country, to maybe get the government to wake the heck up and say, okay, we're listening. We are hearing you, and we're going to make some changes. I am not too confident that that's going to happen, but most people are not willing to take that step forward and make that decision because it's inconvenient, because it makes things more difficult, because there are the question marks that they've given us as it relates to regulatory framework, like we were talking about earlier. It is all out of control. And at some point, if we're able to rein it in and we're able to opt in to a decentralized asset like Bitcoin and people agree on it, we could really, really make this happen, but enough people would have to do it. So I want to challenge you, if you're out there, if that's something that you would consider doing, if you own a business and you're in the chat and you would accept Bitcoin as part of your business, let me know. Drop a 1 in the chat or drop a 2 if you would not. The problem that I see with it right now would be that so for example, with my construction business, the actual bank themselves is not going to allow me to continue to transact in crypto. So the two problems that I see are going to be the fiat conversion, the tax that I would pay on that, and then also trying to buy and sell supplies, or, well, I should say materials. And so if small business owners or large business owners alike, including the lumber companies, the places like Home Depot, for example, were willing to take Bitcoin, now all of a sudden this works. And this could be that push that we're talking about. But it would need to be those small to medium businesses making the decision first, and enough of them, and then press forward into some of the bigger businesses and going to them and saying, hey, listen, We don't want to transact in the US dollar. We want to transact in Bitcoin. And enough people, like I said, enough contractors, enough people in whatever their respective field is, says, nope, this is what I'm doing. It would give that push. So John Ironside said, bring Russell Brand back to YouTube. I didn't realize that they took him off of YouTube. It doesn't surprise me. I actually think that Russell Brand is fantastic. He's been sober for a long time too. He's a genuinely good dude, and I think we align a lot as it relates to some of our thought processes. That's for sure. Smash that like if you haven't already. Let's talk a little bit about SBF and his family. Talked about it at the start of the show, but Mr. Bankman-Fried is headed to court here soon, right? He's got a lot of things happening, and now more of his family is going to be possibly feeling some of that pain. Let me scroll back up. Here's his mom and his dad right here. Sam Bankman-Fried's parents sued by FTX. The lawyers overseeing the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange accused Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried of enriching themselves with money their son stole from customers. There's the two themselves. Now, obviously, this is just allegedly, but let's talk about it. For months, John J. Ray III, the corporate turnaround expert who was appointed to oversee the bankruptcy of FTX crypto exchange, has attacked the company's founder, SBF, accusing him of, quote, old-fashioned embezzlement. Now, Mr. Ray is a new target, Mr. Bankman-Fried's parents. On Monday, FTX filed a lawsuit in federal court in Delaware accusing Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried, longtime Stanford law professors, of using their, quote, access and influence within the FTX enterprise to enrich themselves. The lawsuit seeks to claw back millions of dollars the couple received from their son. In the complaint, the FTX lawyers said that Mr. Bankman and Mrs. Fried got a $10 million cash gift from Mr. Bankman-Fried, as well as a $16.4 million home in the Bahamas, which, by the way, I've seen that thing. It was gorgeous, where FTX was based. That was purchased by the exchange. The suit also claims that Mr. Bankman helped cover up complaints by a former lawyer for his son's business, and that Miss Fried coached Mr. Bankman-Fried and another FTX executive to evade disclosure requirements for political donations. The couple, quote, either knew or ignored bright red flags, revealing that their son, Sam Bankman-Fried, and other FTX insiders were orchestrating a vast fraudulent scheme, the lawsuit says. Let me see if it goes a little bit further. Yeah, here we go. In a statement, lawyers for Mr. Bankman and Ms. Fried said FTX claims were, quote, completely false, and called the lawsuit a dangerous attempt to intimidate Joe and Barbara and undermine the jury process, shortly before Mr. Bankman-Fried is scheduled for a criminal trial. Now, could that be true? Yes. Could his parents be just part of trying to make the whole family look corrupt? 100%. We never, ever, or maybe not even make the whole family look corrupt, take the spotlight possibly off of SBF, because he is scheduled for trial, I believe, on October. Let me double check this. He is October 3rd. He's pleaded not guilty. He's scheduled to go on trial on October 3rd. So that's coming up quickly. So these lawyers have got to figure out a way to try to show or sidetrack people into looking at different opportunities or different things that could have been happening, all to keep the focus off of their client. The reality is these attorneys are there for one reason and one reason only. They're supposed to protect their own client. Now, if you told me as a client that you're going to be going after my own parents, we would have problems, right? I don't know what his relationship was with them, but if he's giving them a $10 million cash gift and a $16 million home in the Bahamas, and that indeed is what happened, if that indeed is what happened, I'm going to guess his relationship's pretty solid with them, and or they genuinely had something to do with it. I see nothing wrong with giving your family funds or money of any sort if you have been able to enrich yourself. I'm with it. If I was bringing in billions of dollars and it was legitimate and I wanted to take care of my 3 sisters and my parents, it actually would be something that I definitely would do because I would want to pass that love along to my family. The question then becomes, though, because of the vast knowledge that both of them have of tax laws, of some of the procedures for donations to political campaigns, they would have a lot of information that would help their young son. And he was young. He's young. He's, what is he, 30, 31? Obfuscate funds. So when I need, I'll give you an example. My dad's an attorney. When I need some legal advice, I go to my dad, right? That's what I do. It makes sense. So if he needed some advice in regard, now, whether he told them that he was actively scamming people or not, they might not know. But the reality is, if they're experts in the field and they see what their son's doing, there had to be like red flag, red flag, red flag, red. Like, I guarantee you, if I went to my dad and said, hey, can you write up this contract? And I need it to kind of read like this. And when he read the contract, he said, well, wait a minute, son. This looks like you are absolutely trying to set yourself up to be 100% not, liable for anything. And my question would be, why do you want it written that, right? Like, the question marks had to be there, I guess is what I'm saying, right? They had to have known something was up. He went from a nothing, nobody, no name, bright young individual that probably made some good money on crypto to a multi-billionaire almost overnight and donating tens of millions of dollars to political parties. There had to be something in there that said, damn, how did my son do this so fast? And now what's he asking me to do? I don't know. Again, this will play out in the courts, but I definitely can see where the questions come from. Whether they're legitimate or not, I can see where the questions come from because it makes sense. You go to the people that you're closest with, especially if they're experts in a certain subject. Well, SBF, absolutely, if I could speak today, he absolutely was engaging in practices that his parents would have lots of good information on. So I could see people putting one and one together and coming up with two, right? So, hey, it is what it is. Patriot K-Man said, Hunter Biden is suing the IRS for the crimes that he committed. Oh, yeah, dude. Anytime these people have an opportunity to point the finger back at somebody or try to just kind of make you look the other way, they're going to do it. And apparently SBF's okay with them doing it via his parents, because if FTX, his own company, or what used to be his company anyway, is suing his own parents, he must be willing to dig those heels in deep, right? For sure. Going back to the Bitcoin idea, Green Day Prophet said, one thing everybody can do is start asking local businesses if they accept Bitcoin. It will at least foster the idea, and the business owners will have to start considering it. I think that's really good, dude. I think that's important. I ask people all the time. I don't ask them with the intention of paying in Bitcoin, because at Bitcoin being 27K right now, even though my average entry is a lot lower than that, I don't ask because I want to spend my Bitcoin. I ask because I want to know who I'm talking to. Just like when I get in an Uber or I get in a cab, I always ask, right? I always ask, what do you know about Bitcoin? What do you know about crypto, right? I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to know if the person is financially aware of the revolution that is the blockchain, right? I don't intend to spend my Bitcoin. I intend to leverage my Bitcoin long term. I intend to be able to use it, take loans against my Bitcoin, ultimately use it to foster a future for myself and my family. That being said, if more and more people can adopt this same idea by, simply spreading the word, yeah, it makes sense. And I think that it's going to be a really important thing to do. Just that simple thing, right? Like, it just really is just that simple. Smash that like if you haven't already. We've got like 15 people in here. I love you guys. I hope that you are having a great day. Let me see. Let me jump into the comments again here real quick before we move on to the next one. Keeper, I owned a construction company for 18 years, sold it a few years ago for a decent profit. Wish I knew about Bitcoin back then. I did invest in a few rental properties, but Bitcoin, I wish. Yeah, man, I wish I would have jumped into Bitcoin when my buddy was mining it back in 2014 or 2015 and he first introduced me to it. It would have been, yeah, I'm still kicking myself on that one. I think everybody that gets into Bitcoin says one thing and one thing only. I wish I would have got in earlier, because there's just besides a few people that I know, even the people that I know that got in at really, really inexpensive prices, they didn't truly understand what the value was most of them didn't understand what the value was going to be. So they were just using it as a peer-to-peer way to exchange value. I've heard stories from people even that I know that's like, oh yeah, I spent 100 Bitcoin on this, 100 Bitcoin on that, 1,000 Bitcoin on this. And I'm like, huh? And they're like, yeah, I mean, because at the time it was just peer-to-peer. It wasn't looked at as much as an investment, vehicle as it was just a way for peers to move value back and forth. We know that it was used a lot on the dark web. We know that it was used a lot for some games, etc. But the reality is, it was just a simple way for people to transact. They weren't really thinking, hey, I wonder what happens when this thing goes to $69,000. No, it was just, this works right now, I'm going to use it. That's why you've heard the story about the $100 million pizza or whatever the cost of the thing would be now. So, all right. Let's see here. Off Near Crypto says most of those that I've asked were interested in the idea, but not sure to step in. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Like, cool idea, but like, how do I get in? Or should I step in? Should I get involved? That's basically what it comes down to. All right. So again, smash that like. Let's talk about adoption. Adoption is happening everywhere we look. We hear the Bitcoin ETFs, absolutely getting applied for left, right, sideways. Okay, cool. We hear MasterCard and Visa and Walmart and all of these massive, massive companies, Microsoft, getting involved in the crypto space. And it's not just happening here, it's happening overseas. So investors are getting hip to the idea that, there's maybe something to this, but they want exposure. But a lot of the people that want exposure to Bitcoin, because they've been such traditional finance, they're ingrained in traditional finance, they're kind of looking for a traditional finance way of investing in Bitcoin. Because for a lot of people, it's scary to, not your keys, not your crypto. That's a scary idea. I know somebody, I won't name him on the show. I know somebody that has, I know that he has millions of dollars in Bitcoin. I would say he probably has tens of millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and holds it on an exchange, which sounds absolutely crazy to me. And I've told him that, but he said it sounds absolutely crazy to him to, be fully responsible for his own assets in the way that I take care of them. I just don't trust the institutions enough to leave large amounts of Bitcoin. I've seen what's happened, right? So, but the adoption's happening, bottom line, right? It's been slow. We've been talking about it for years, but it is happening. So let's check out what this Japanese bank is doing. This is something a little bit newer, maybe a little bit different twist on what some other subsidiaries are doing. So Laser Digital, a subsidiary of Japanese investment bank Nomura, launches Bitcoin fund for institutional investors. Okay. Laser Digital Asset Management, a subsidiary of Nomura, has unveiled its Bitcoin adoption fund. This initiative aims to provide institutional investors with a streamlined and efficient gateway into the rapidly evolving digital asset space, potentially positioning itself as one of the most economical and secure investment avenues currently available. This launch marks just the beginning, as Laser Digital Asset Management has expressed intentions to roll out a broader suite of digital adoption investment tools in the near future. The Bitcoin Adoption Fund is part of Laser Digital Funds SPC, a segregated portfolio company which is registered as a mutual fund. In a bid to ensure the utmost security for the fund's asset, Laser is partnering with Komainu. I have no idea. I probably butchered that. Established in 2018, Komainu is regulated digital asset custody solution resulting from the collaborative efforts of Nomura, Ledger, and CoinShares. At the forefront of Laser Digital Assets management operations is Sebastian Guglietta. Before this undertaking, Guglietta held the position of Chief Scientist Officer at Nomura and served as a portfolio manager and senior scientist at Brevin Howard. Upon the fund's debut, Sebastian Guglietta, the head of Laser Digital Asset Management, stated in a press release, "Technology is a key driver of global economic growth and is transforming a large part of the economy from analog to digital. Bitcoin is one of the enablers of this long-lasting transformational change, and long-term exposure to Bitcoin offers a solution to investors to capture this macro trend." All right, so what's happening here? Effectively, people are saying, we want more exposure to Bitcoin. How do we get it? And some of these other countries have regulations in place, rules. I don't even know a lot of them, but effectively they are all traditional finance, traditionally finance-esque. I don't know. They effectively are trying to mimic what traditional finance has done in the past. In this instance, a mutual fund that gives people direct/indirect exposure to Bitcoin. Now, in part, I think that this is laziness. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that a lot of the people that are, going to be giving themselves exposure to the asset could just spend, a couple days, read the Bitcoin standard. They could jump onto a YouTube channel, Debate Crypto. Hey, right here. They could do a lot of different things to learn more about crypto and have 100% like actual grasp of this thing that is, in this instance, Bitcoin. But most people are too lazy. They genuinely believe in the greater good that most businesses claim to bring to the table. And if a business is going to offer up this opportunity to have, exposure to Bitcoin, and it's a business that I trust, then I'm in. Now, I would push back a little bit and I would say businesses are there to make money. They are there to profit. Okay. No problem with that. Obviously, I own businesses. I want to profit as well. But what I want to say is, why let the business profit off of what is the point of you letting the business profit off of your own assets, off of your own crypto, if you could just take a little bit of time to learn and do it yourself? Right? I mean, that's effectively what's happening here. People are saying, oh, yeah, please, Massa, please, will you just invest my money for me? Invest your own money, bro. You have the opportunity to learn about this beautiful thing, this beautiful decentralized asset that is called Bitcoin. Spend a little time, learn a little something, make some money. That's all I want to say. Like, just throwing it out there. Now, will this do well? Yes, it will. Because people like seeing big businesses. They like the words mutual fund. It feels good. It feels safe. It feels secure. Is it? Well, I don't know how this is structured or how this is actually set up, but you, me, and half the rest of the world that doesn't have their heads buried in the sand is seeing these banks collapsing. They're seeing the economic downturn. They're seeing the hyperinflation. They're seeing all of the problems left, right, and sideways throughout the world right now. And so I think that you should just be aware of the fact that you still are putting money into a business that otherwise can fail, that is not insuring your Bitcoin, right? I found something out over the trip in Vegas. FDIC insured. Most of you, if I ask in the chat, FDIC insured means, okay, well, we're going to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, I think, is FDIC. Probably messed that up. I think that's what it is. But in any event, 250 grand. They're going to cover you for 250 grand. Well, I got news for you. They can own if literally things collapsed and the rug got pulled out from under our banking system. Do you know that FDIC insurance could only cover less than 0.5% of all the money that's supposedly FDIC insured? Tell me that's not a scam. How are you going to tell everybody, hey, listen, as long as it's 250 grand or under, I got you covered? But they're not. They're not. Like, okay, on the random 1 off, 2 off, 10 off, 100 off, sure, you're covered. But if there is a massive economic fallout, they cannot cover even a drop in the bucket versus what they say they, quote, cover. It is, as Crusader likes to say, fugazi, like the rest of the house of cards that is the US dollar, that is the current banking system. It is all part of this just huge house of cards that they've built up that at this point just needs a small little to blow it over. Just want to throw it out there that it is not the way that it appears. It's just not. So this is the reason why. Listen. The reason why I like to custody my own assets, not let other people make decisions for me. Now, do I have some stocks, bonds, like do I have some stuff that somebody else is managing? I do. Is it large numbers? No. I mean, I like what I have there. I like to diversify. I think it's important. I don't think you should have your portfolio 100% crypto or something. I think that would be incredibly dangerous. But that being said, with what is my crypto portfolio, I want to be the one in charge. I want to be the one so that if I do something stupid, then it is on me. But how crappy does it feel? Have you ever had somebody tell me, have you ever had somebody else make a decision that ended up screwing you in the long run and you had nothing to do with it? Right? And how does that feel? You're helpless, right? You are helpless. Whereas if I'm the one that's in charge of my own funds, if I'm the one that's responsible, guess what happens if I do lose it? I got a heck of a learning opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because I am the one that made said mistake, or I am the one that screwed up. Then at a minimum, I can take personal responsibility for it, and I'm not pointing the finger, even though sometimes pointing the finger sounds good, right? So I don't know. Just want to throw that out there. There are a lot of things in our financial system that are definitely far from what they appear to be. It's great that these massive institutions are getting in. I think that it's great that it's bringing more and more adoption to the crypto space. I think that there will be money that will flow in unlike ever before. But the last thing I want to leave you with is big money coming in means big money games. I was talking about this last week. You've probably heard me say it before. I believe that the volatility will be maybe unlike ever before because these big money players will play big money games. And the goal will be to scare you out of your bags. Point blank, period. The goal will be to scare you out of your bags. So when these big players come in, they are competing against each other, but on a very large scale. You will be collateral damage. But if you understand that on the front end, if you can hedge against some of that, or just have a game plan understanding where's my take profits, how much am I keeping in, how much am I sitting on the sideline, do I have stable coins just in case, am I self-custodying everything, am I asking myself all of these questions and having a game plan on the front end so that I can succeed in the long run, right? I also think that you need to have someone to be accountable to. We've talked about that before. Put that game plan together and have somebody that's going to call you on it. Have somebody that's going to say, no, bro. No, ma'am. No. That's not what you said you were going to do. That was not your commitment, because it's very easy to get greedy in this space when the bull run happens. It's also, especially if you're newer, very easy to get scared in the space. And when this big money comes in, like I said, we're going to have a lot of volatility. So just keep that in mind. The crypto space will continue to play games, and they're going to play games with the possibility of, taking your money. So have a game plan. Crypto fam, I love you guys. I'm so glad that you were here today. Again, we will be here every single day. I was out last week. I'm going to be here this week and next, and then I'm off to Brazil. I've got some business that I've got to attend to, but I love you guys. Let's have some fun the rest of the week. We got some big names coming on the show. We've got some cool things coming up. I just want to tell everybody this real quick. We have got a super, super cool idea that's going to be interactive with the chat and with us and with the traders that you see on our channel. And there is going to be money to be made, real money for you to be made. And so pay attention for that. We will be rolling that out soon. It is going to change up the style on a couple things too. It's something that you have not seen on another YouTube channel. This is something that Crusader and I have been having a conversation in the background. Crusader came up with the idea. We kind of started spitballing back and forth. And I think we have something that's going to be very fun for you in the show, and you will be able to possibly rake in some real dough. So stick around for that. We're excited to present that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, love you guys. You could have been anywhere on a Tuesday, but you're hanging out here with Keeper, hanging out with Debate Crypto. We love you. Just remember to question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl, if you can see that, hodl like it's hot. We will see you soon.